What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I just picked up a Springfield Echelon. It's a new player in the polymer game. I kind of saw this coming before they released it and I just bought one. So I want to go over a few features of this thing with you guys and take an up close look at it. So let's jump into it. Now I know I'm a little late to the game on the Echelon. They've been out for a few months now, and I'm not one of those big channels that got those big packages sent out to them with a gun and a red dot and a light and a holster and all that jazz. This is not a paid advertisement. This is me going and buying this gun and giving my honest opinion on it. So I just picked this thing up, found it online, had it shipped to my local FFL. So this is the new striker fired polymer framed handgun from Springfield Armory. It's called the Echelon. Now, a few things they did to this I think are awesome. They kind of took all the things that everyone likes about every other polymer framed handgun and mashed it into one. So we'll get into those in a little bit, but first off, let's see what all's in the box and then we'll dive into some details. I got the version with the U-notch rear sight, front night sight. If you've owned a Springfield Armory handgun before, pretty much typical. It comes in this extremely nice cardboard box. It comes with a magazine loader. It comes with a 17 round magazine and I believe a 21 round magazine. This one you can see has kind of an extension on the bottom. Now in the box they also ship another extension, so if you want to put that on the 17 round magazine and have them both the same, you can. These extensions are both kind of stippled with the same texture that's on the grip of the gun. It comes with your standard lock. It comes with a couple different size back straps. This is the little insert for the extended magazine pad. It comes with an extremely nice Springfield Armory soft pouch. I'm not sure if anybody uses these, but they ship these with all their guns. Comes with some paperwork. It doesn't come with kind of an owner's manual, so you'll have to go online to get the owner's manual. I guess that's a little too expensive to throw in the box. It does come with their target that they test fired this thing on, which is kind of cool. And then it comes with some little inserts for the optics mounting system. The Springfield Echelon is manufactured by HS Products, which manufacture a bunch of their guns for them. And I'm a big fan of Springfield handguns. I have a few Hellcats, Hellcat Pro, the XDMs, and they're some of my favorite guns to shoot. Now, I saw this coming about 2 months before I saw anything about it. I'm not one of those guys that's in the know, that goes to SHOT Show or has insider information from the big manufacturers or is on any of those lists that get sent free products like that. That's not me, I'm just a little guy. So along with this YouTube channel, I'm signed up as an affiliate of certain companies. And I get emails from some of those companies from time to time saying, these products are on sale this weekend, push this out to your audience, do this, do that. I usually don't do that because I'm not kind of a daily deals type of guy. I do reviews on the stuff that I have and I buy, and that's what I do my videos on. I'm not gonna push a product if it's not something I'm using. So I got a few emails from a couple different companies and they had amazing deals on those XDM model guns. And it got me thinking, like, why are they pushing these and have them on sale? I figured a new handgun was coming out. I told my kid, who helps me out with this stuff, with the website and stuff, I'm like, I think there's a new handgun coming out from Springfield Armory because they're pushing this, trying to get rid of these XDM models. Sure enough, about a month and a half later, you see the YouTube blitz of all the big channels pushing the Springfield Echelon. And first impressions on this thing, it is pretty sweet. So I went and bought this. I haven't shot it yet. These are my first impressions. I think they took all the design factors of all the other striker fired handguns and put it all into one. This is a modular system similar to the SIG P320. You can take out the fire control group and move it into different frames, whatever size you want. I'm not sure what Springfield calls it. They probably have their own name, but that fire control group is the serialized part of this firearm. So you can take that out, put it in a different grip and run it in a smaller size gun, a bigger gun, whatever you want to do. So they stole that from SIG. The size, feel, weight of this thing feels like a Glock in my hand. But it does have a high bore axis like the Glock. That frame is very high up. You can get right up underneath that frame. It's not like a SIG where you're down low. But that's one little thing that I noticed is the bore axis is really high, which is nice for shooting, helps recoil, stuff like that. From Walther, I think they took all these slide serrations and how aggressive they are, like they are on the PDP. That's one of the things everybody loves about the PDP is those slide serrations. They have them front and back. And then the stippling on this thing, it's very similar to the Hellcat stippling. If you guys have a Hellcat, which is grippy enough, I'll have to try it out when I'm out shooting, when my hands are sweaty and stuff, how I like it. They did a great job stippling. Like they have some up underneath the trigger guard, on front of the trigger guard, They kind of have a little gas pedal over here that's stippled. The takedown lever also has some texture on it, as well as that mag release. This is fully ambidextrous, has the ambidextrous mag release and the ambidextrous slide release. So if you're a lefty, it'll work for you. That magazine release, you don't have to take it out and flip it around. It can be activated from either side, which is good and bad. The majority of people are right-handed, and when you're gripping that gun, your finger is right there on that mag release. I don't know if that'll be a problem when shooting, if you'll release that magazine accidentally, but it's a nice option. It covers everybody out there. I've probably only watched 2 videos on YouTube on this gun. I've seen them all blasted out there, but I've only watched 2, and one of them was from Springfield Armory. So if you hear me say something, I'm not copying off someone else, repeating anything somebody's saying. Honestly, I like to do my own thing before I go and watch that stuff, so I don't look like those other guys that are saying all the same things and stuff like that. These are my own opinions. With that, if you guys are liking content like this and you like watching my channel, make sure you're subscribed. I see those stats of who's subscribed and who's not that watches my videos. Go hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So like I mentioned, I do really like these grip serrations. If you're press checking or grabbing it from the front, they work awesome. If you're traditional and like to rack that slide from the back, it works awesome because it has these, I don't know if you'll be able to see, the back of that slide kind of angles out a little bit, lets you get a nice grip on it, plus those serrations. Now the optics system on this isn't like anybody else. It's not an RMR cut or the Springfield OSP cut, something you gotta buy a plate for. Yeah, there are companies making plates for these, but this thing comes out of the box ready to mount like 31 different optics. So you can get whatever optic that you have, whatever you like, whether it's a Holosun or an RMR or a loophole or whatever it is that you're into. You can buy those and mount them right on with these screws and pins that come with the gun. For those big square enclosed optics, you will need a plate because those use kind of a Picatinny type clamp and they don't bolt directly to the gun. So you'll have to get a plate for something like that. But most of the optics that have screws that go down and mount it to, say, a plate, or in this case, the slide, those will mount on here just fine. Supposedly it will sit low enough that you can still use these factory sights. I haven't tried that yet. I'm going to be getting some accessories and stuff for this in the future, so make sure you're subscribed for those videos. This gun, first impressions, I'm really digging it. The trigger shoe is a plastic trigger shoe, which is one of the downsides. I would have liked to seen that, you know, a metal or aluminum trigger shoe. It doesn't feel bad. Here, I'll show you the take up. There's the take up. Brake's really nice. Shorter reset, another brake. For a factory handgun, I feel like the trigger on this thing is a lot better than most. It's not too spongy like a SIG trigger. A Glock trigger seems to be pretty heavy and a little bit gritty until you break them in. But this thing feels really nice to me for a factory trigger. Like I mentioned, it does come with those extra back straps, so if that grip isn't how you like it, you can swap those out for a little bit bigger back strap and get a little bit better palm swell on there to fit your hand better. But I am really liking that high bore axis. I know everybody talks about it, but it does make a difference. I've noticed a difference. It's kind of one of the reasons I tend to gravitate toward my Glocks, because shooting them is awesome compared to like a P320. They're a nice gun, but I like to be able to get up nice and high and kind of hold some of that recoil. Now the ledges that I mentioned on the side of this, they're not extremely big and pronounced. They don't stick out quite a bit. So I'll have to try that out when I'm at the range and see if that makes a difference or if it's just aesthetics and doesn't do anything. But let's jump over to the bench. I'm gonna pull this thing apart, show you guys the inside of it, show you guys some similarities that I've mentioned already, and give some of my final thoughts. Also, I've been throwing around the idea of doing some merchandise. If you guys like that idea, would be into a shirt or a hat or something like that with my logo on it, let me know in the comments, because I kind of want to get some merchandise going. So here's how this thing looks up close. You can see those extremely aggressive slide serrations, the little kick out on the back, makes it easier for grabbing a hold and racking that slide. And then here's that trigger pull. I wouldn't say it's like a glass break. I would say there's like a rolling break almost. Kind of rolls through, but it's not bad at all. To take this thing down and clean it and stuff, you're just going to lock back that slide, flip down that takedown lever, let it roll forward a bit, then you can lift it right off the top. So to take out this whole fire control group, you're just going to pull out your takedown lever, which just pushes out, and then wiggle this up out of there to change frames or whatever you want to do. Looking down in there, that is similar to a Glock in how it's set up with the trigger bar coming down the one side. It does have a different sear setup, but is very similar looking. The bottom side, also similar to a Glock, other than the safety plunger on the Glock is up front. The striker looks very similar. I'm not going to take this all down, I just want to kind of show you guys the internals of that thing, but there are some similarities to other branded guns. Now this recoil spring, it is plastic, so that's one thing that I'm going to want to replace. That's plastic. I don't really like the idea of that. It does have a flat wire spring in there. For me, I think I would better prefer a metal guide rod. So that's kind of the internals of it. Like I said, I'm not going to take it all down for you guys. I just kind of wanted to show you the inside of that, what it looked like. It does have a full-length dust cover, and it also has a Picatinny rail on the front for mounting lights and stuff like that. So cleaning and field stripping this thing should be relatively easy and not a big cumbersome task. Also, if you don't like this and want a smaller grip module or whatever the aftermarket comes out with, different grip modules, that'll be nice to have that option in the future, that you can pull your fire control group out of it and swap it into something else and still be legit. And here's what that optics mounting system looks like. So it has all these different spots so you can put the different recoil lugs in there. This one has some in the front already. There's holes for it in the back, and then it has all these different screw holes for mounting whatever optic you want to mount on this. I think that's an awesome option that I'm surprised no one else has come up with up to this point, but that's going to make it a lot easier. That cut is nice and deep so your optic can sit down in there and co-witness with these factory sights. So for me personally, I'm definitely going to be getting an optic on this. I haven't decided which one yet. I have really started to like the enclosed optics, so I may go with like an EPS on this, a Holosun EPS, and get a weapon light for it, and then some other upgrades. I know Apex Tactical has a guide rod and a magazine release for this already. I'm sure they're working on other stuff, so I'll probably look into that stuff and kind of get this thing set up how I want it set up and how it fits me. Before we jump back up off the bench, I want to do a trigger pull test on this and show you guys what this is pulling at from the factory. I just have one of these Lyman digital trigger pull gauges that I use for stuff like this, and it comes in handy. I use this thing all the time. First trigger pull is 4 pounds, 1.4 ounces. £3 pounds, 9.5 ounces. £4 pounds, 9.9. So that's an average of 4 pounds, 1.6 ounce. So just over a 4 pound trigger from the factory. That is not bad at all. And honestly, this thing, it has quite a bit of take up, which isn't the nicest, which isn't what I prefer. But it is a nice feeling trigger in a factory handgun. So let's jump back up off the bench and go over a few other things. So that, my friends, is the Springfield Echelon. First impressions, this thing is a great platform to build off of. I love that they took everything that everybody likes about all the other striker-fired handguns and turned it into one handgun. The modularity with the fire control group and taking that out and putting it in a different grip, and also the optics mounting system that you can put whatever optic on. You don't have to go spend extra money or tell Springfield which optic mounting plate you want them to send you. It's all right here when you buy the gun. You can put whatever optic you want on it straight out of the box. I also like that it comes with night sights, the full Picatinny rail, the aggressive serrations front and back. This thing is just jam-packed with features, and I can't wait to get it out to the range, and I can't wait to start doing stuff to this thing. But this thing has a very high upside, and in my opinion, it has a very high floor starting off. I've been a huge fan of the Hellcat. It's one of my favorite guns. I carry it all the time. This is like the more modular big brother to the Hellcat. I'm excited to get shooting this thing and using it. Like with all my videos, I'll have a link in the description that will take you to my website, My website's information only. I don't sell anything on my website, but you can go over there and look at the parts and pieces that I use on my videos, like the tools that I use or any parts or anything that I talk about. So I'll have a link in the description. You guys can go check that stuff out if you want. And make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. There's a lot of you guys that aren't, that still watch my videos every single time. I see the analytics. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and we'll check you guys on the next one.